we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And after 22 years, Raymond Mark!
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here in the Sick Podcast Network and another edition of On Campus Friday. Pierre, McGuire, Jimmy Murphy. Pierre, how are you?
I'm very well. Jimmy, how you feeling?
I'll be better. I'm just getting better for Ireland, my friend. Not too good right now, but I will be ready for Ireland.
Okay, good.
And speaking of Ireland and the Friendship Four, that is the focus of our guests. And our featured guest today is Associate Head Coach Jeff Mason, joining us here from the Belfast Giants. Jeff, how you doing?
Gentlemen, great to see you. Great to be on. Frequent listener of the show, so happy to join you. And we'll be seeing you here in person in a few days.
You know, it's pretty neat, Jimmy. He's got the Red Sox lid on, but he's a kid from Western Mass. He's not exactly a Boston guy. I used to run the hockey school there in East Hampton, Massachusetts, at the Williston Northampton School. Believe it or not, Williston Northampton is actually in East Hampton, right, Jeff?
It is, and it was about less than half a mile from my house and where I grew up playing. And we talked about that last year when you were over.
Yeah.
And it is funny because over here, when I meet people and they say, "Where are you from?" I'll say Boston, but I would never say that to, someone from Massachusetts because I know that is Western Mass is very far from Boston in most people's eyes, certainly people that are from Boston.
That's cool.
For sure. By the way, speaking of, where did you go to high school again, Jeff?
So I went to high school in East Hampton. I played junior hockey for Gary Dineen.
There we go. The legend.
Time was the New England Junior Coyotes. Probably one of the best hockey life experiences I had. And then after that, was fortunate to go on to Providence College and kind of been here, there, and everywhere since. But for the majority of the last 15 years, I've been here in Northern Ireland.
Hey, just to be clear, and I'm really glad that Jeff brought up who he played junior for, who was a good friend of mine, Gary Dineen. Gary Dineen was a legendary hockey coach in Western Mass. He's a Canadian guy that went to Loyola College in Montreal. Best part about Gary, played in the Olympics when amateurs actually played in the Olympics. He played for Father David Bauer back in the 1960s, and then played mostly in the minor leagues for a long time. I think Jeff knows that. But if you look at the pedigree of some of the players that he coached over time, whether it was Bobby Kellogg, who was a third-round pick of Chicago, or Billy Guerin, who was a first-round pick of the New Jersey Devils, or Scotty LeChance, who was a first-round pick of the New York Islanders, you look at the pedigree, and Jeff goes on to Providence College, and the highway's littered with Division I players that he coached. He was an iconic figure in Western Mass. I think Jeff would speak to that.
Pierre, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, I had no idea how fortunate I was to be able to play for him. And then I was actually really fortunate in the years after that to work for him at his hockey school and to learn, how to teach the game from him, and just to learn from him was the most incredible experience. And I also didn't understand at the time, like the amount of guys that played for Gary that went on to play Division I college hockey, went on to play professional hockey, were drafted in the NHL. We just kind of thought it was like, that's just what you did. You went and you played for Gary and these things happened. And it was, was really, I didn't understand how lucky I was, how privileged I was at the time. And obviously we lost him a number of years ago, which is extremely unfortunate, but I will be forever indebted to Gary for what I learned from him, both as playing for him and then working for him as well.
Jimmy, just to build off of Jeff's point for 1 second.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with Gary. I tried to recruit a lot of his players. One guy that played for us was at Babson was Danny Hunter, whose father owned Diesel Dan's, the last exit or the last rest stop on the Mass Pike before you got into New York. It was unbelievable. So we recruited this kid, and Danny was a really good player for us at Babson. He was a really elite. At that time, it was Division II. He was a really elite player for us. But one thing, I'm curious because it's not meant to poke fun. It's kind of like hockey humor. I never left Gary Dineen's office without smelling like nicotine. I don't know if Jeff agrees with me on that or not, but man, oh man, it was like crazy to go into his office and leave. You're like, I smell like smoke.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I was at the time, I probably didn't process it because I was always so scared to go into that office of you were afraid that you did something wrong or you might get yelled at. But certainly I can imagine that was the case. And if I wasn't on such eggshells when I went in there, I probably would have walked out feeling the same way. But certainly an incredible experience for me and all the guys that teammates of mine that got to play for him and opened so many doors for me. And certainly had I not played for Gary, whatever it is now, 25 years later, I wouldn't have had anywhere near the same opportunities in hockey that I have.
You wound up going to Providence College there your senior year. You were a captain of the team. Talk to us about the experience playing there. And by the way, I'm now living, I forgot to tell you, Jeff, I'm literally 4 blocks away from PC.
You know what? I have nothing but fond memories of PC. When it came time for college recruitment and decisions, it was the final two for me was Providence and your alma mater, UMass Amherst, was speaking of Maine at the time as well. And I was going back and forth and UMass was a little too close to home for me because everybody I went to high school with, they went up the road to UMass, and Providence we didn't win near as much as I would have liked when I was there, but it's an incredible experience. Have so many fond memories. And for me as a kid growing up in Western Massachusetts, and some of the family history I have in the game, and, my great uncle having coached at BU and everything, college hockey was kind of it for me. Like, obviously you have the dream of playing in the NHL, but it was Division I college hockey and the NHL. And so to be able to achieve that and be a part of that, and then to still be around it now, even though I'm living in over here in Northern Ireland, is something that I really cherish.
Yeah, but one of the things you guys are doing that's so amazing, and I'm so excited to hear what you have to say about this, Jeff, is you guys are building a brand in Northern Ireland. I think it's phenomenal. Watch the growth of what the Belfast Giants are all about, and you're a big part of that.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Pierre. And as I said, having come over here in 2010, and I had 2 short stints away as a player and a coach, but the Belfast Giants have been around now going on, 25 years was last year and 26 years now. So having been here for more than half of their existence, to see where it's gone, to see what it's become in the community. Obviously it's well documented, the history of Northern Ireland. And, I've been fortunate enough to learn a lot about that because my wife is from here. So through my wife and her family and people's personal experiences, but that's not the Northern Ireland that I know. The Northern Ireland that I know is one of, is very, very vibrant, has, sporting people and sporting achievements that punch well above of their weight. And the Giants is one of those things. And it's become, the ticket in town to come to and to bring your family to. And a part of that, a massive part of that, is the other things they're doing around, just the game of hockey on a Friday or Saturday night. And, the friendship for and the experience is incredible. And I actually got a message last night from a guy that I used to play summer hockey with in the Olympia.
Oh, wow. That's just north of Springfield, by the way, for those that don't know. It's a rink just north of Springfield.
So 15, 20 years ago, we used to play together on a summer team, and he messaged me and said, I'm coming to the women's games in January.
Oh, cool.
My brother's daughter plays for Duluth. Are you going to be there? So it's, it's opening this part of the world up to people that probably would never come and never see it. And it's opening up opportunities for people in this part of the world to see, and open avenues for them, in North America. So I think what the Odyssey Trust is doing, what the Giants are doing, for the community at large is unbelievable. And I'm very, honored and privileged to have been a part of it for as long as I have been.
We feel the same way, don't we, Jimmy?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The same way, 100% agree.
I'm wondering, Jeff, what led to your decision to first play for Belfast there? And then when you first got there, what was your first impression?
So the season before, I had gone to the second league in Germany. At the time, it was the Bundesliga, and now it's the DEL2. And was playing in Heilbronn and really enjoyed it. Had hoped to go back. They dropped the import number. They weren't going to sign any import defensemen, so I was on the lookout for a place to play. And in years previous, I had talked to, it's actually funny, I'd actually talked to Steve Thornton a few times in summers when he was coaching here, and nothing ever matriculated. He left. Doug Christensen came in as the head coach and ended up signing to come here. Figured it would be a year's stop in my hockey journey. And that was 2010. And here we are in 2025 going into 2026. So, didn't envision what it would become, but, everyone that comes and plays here, by and large, enjoys the city, enjoys the people. It's a great place to play. The quality of hockey continues to get better year on year. And so it was just a natural fit once I got here. And like I said, it's, I've been privileged to have been a part of it for so long.
Doug Christensen's a commissioner of the ECAC right now, a good friend of Jimmy and I, and a good friend of the show. I agree with you, by the way, in the growth of the EIHL. I really do. I watch games and I'm going, oh, man, this thing's getting better all the time. How big do you think expansion would be for the league, Jeff?
I think the natural progression is to expand. I think what teams have done, certainly the teams toward the top end, the investment they've put in, the infrastructure that's coming in, the quality of the league is. I've been a part of the Champions Hockey League now with Belfast for I think 3 years, and we had a rough campaign this year. We had some injuries and other things, but the league itself is doing so well in that competition and going into, countries where hockey is their main thing and doing well and competing with these teams and, bringing in players from those leagues and them coming in and them attesting to how high the level of play is. I think that's the natural thing. I think it would be great. There's talk of expansion. There's talk of a team down south. From my point of view, I think that's nothing but a good thing. It's more opportunity for the league to grow, more opportunity for players to come and be involved in it. So I certainly, from my point of view, hope that it happens.
Jimmy, just to break some news here, the team down south that Jeff's alluding to would be in Dublin. There's major financial resources behind the potential of a development situation there with the new building. And then, believe it or not, it would be off of England and off of Ireland. It actually be in the mainland, the continent of Europe. Wow. There's a team that is very serious about going in, and I think they could change the whole dynamic of the league if that city and that team ever comes in. Just to build off of Jeff's point, would be massive for that league. Massive. Yeah.
Besides the hockey, Jeff, too, for our listeners that don't know out there and our viewers, how great is it that the team offers you a chance to pursue further education when you're over there?
It is, I think, for someone that's gone through it and played 13 years professionally, and then, like the majority of people that do, you need to find then a career afterwards. The guys that put their feet up, retire, and just golf are few and far between. So I think it's an incredible experience and opportunity for guys to be able to do that. And for us, it came in as a way for teams in this league to try to compete and get players that maybe shouldn't come here. Maybe we're initially above our level. So I think that is great. We've built great relationships here with the universities here. It's starting to now with the Giants branch out to universities in the US as well, where guys are doing courses online and other things. And, wow. And so it is it's just another way that teams in this league have tried to innovate and tried to, kind of start to bridge that gap of some of the ability to get some of these players.
I love your story, Jeff. I followed it for a long time. I really respect guys like you that have had to get down in the trench and really dig, to survive in the business. And you've done an amazing job at it. I played overseas, so I kind of know the journey you've been on. What was it like for you to say, you know what, I'm going to live here full time. I'm going to marry a girl from here. I'm going to live here full time.
You know what, Pierre, it happened kind of gradually. The first, my first experiences in Europe of going to play in Finland, going to play in Germany, it never really, I never really thought I might live outside of the US for an extended period of time. And then I came here and it was such a natural fit. And then, met my now wife, and it just, the transition happened so smoothly. And I do think I tell guys on our team this all the time, and they don't understand because they're, 23, 24 years old. When I first started going to Europe, like, you were isolated. Like, there was no cell phones there. The internet, as you know, it did not exist. You were not watching Netflix. You weren't FaceTiming with your family. I would walk to the library in the small little town I was in Finland. And if the library was open, I could send an email to somebody and then wait till the next day and go back and see if they replied. So I think it is, obviously living far away from family is tough, but with things like FaceTime and other things, it's much easier to stay very connected with your family back home. And it is, as most of the people that come over that I speak to from the university teams, they can't believe how easy a flight it is and how quick it is. And they're like, I didn't know it was so easy to get over here. Yeah. So it is, obviously schedule permitting, it is fairly easy for us to get over, or for my family to get over here. So we did get back in the summertime, got to a Red Sox game. Nice. We saw them beat the Rays for their 10th win in a row right before the All-Star break. And I said,
cool.
We got to get him to Fenway Johnny's.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to get him there.
Yeah, a good friend owns a bar right around the corner, Johnny Caron. He owns one by the Garden called Westside Johnny's, and then he owns Fenway. So next time you're out here, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait a second, Jimmy. We're going to see Jeff on Monday Tuesday. We're going to see him. So actually, he's going to take us around.
I think we found our little home base already there.
I just hope Jeff's going to show up and come be our guest. That would be awesome.
Love to have you at the Heart.
I would love to, but I don't think you guys need me to be your tour guide over here anymore. I think you've got it pretty well figured out where you're going.
I just sprinkle my leprechaun dust and I'm good. There you go. And by the way, too, for our listeners, we will be at the Harp, and also we're going to be at McConnell's Distillery, Jeff. I don't know if you've been out there yet. We're really excited to check out the place. I guess it was a former prison as well. So we're going to be broadcasting live next Wednesday from there.
Yeah, no, I haven't been there yet, but I've heard it's a really cool place. If it's anything like Bushmills up the North Coast, which I've been to, and other things, it'd be quite the experience, and I'm sure will be a great show. And then we're having you guys at the arena, which is great.
Yeah, really excited about that one. Yeah, that's going to be great. Well, listen, Jeff, we appreciate you taking the time.
Don't cut him off yet. I need more questions.
Go for it, my friend.
I want to ask him, like, how big would the rivalry be between Belfast and Dublin if they ever got an expansion team?
I think that the natural thing is that it would be really good. And I think there are, in my time here, the amount of people, because there are no ice rinks in the South, the amount of people that come up here to public skate, to play for the junior Giants, to take advantage of those opportunities. There's so many of them. So I think it would be a natural fit for a team to go in there. And I think, certainly one of the things that's, from the Giants perspective, anytime you play away, it's a flight or a boat and a night away. And there's lots of teams in our league that they get on the bus, they drive 40 minutes and they come back and, after the game. And so to have something like that where fans can very easily hop in the car, drive down, go to the game and enjoy an away game. I think would be great for the city here and the city in Dublin.
Yeah. Jeff, last year I took Jimmy down to Dublin, before we went up to Belfast, and I took him to Smithfield where my daughter lived and worked. And there was a skating rink right across the street from the Jameson Distillery. I'm not kidding you. Jimmy, 250, 300 people on the ice. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The people were, and there were good skaters. Like, it wasn't like they were ankle benders. They were skating.
Yeah.
And it's to Jeff's point, I think it'd be a huge success if they ever got a team in Dublin. I really believe that.
And I agree, Pierre. And I think there's plenty of appetite for it, and there's plenty of people that would do it. I think obviously the hurdle has always been no facility, and finding someone to come in with the ability, with the means to get that done, to then bring, to bring the sport and the opportunity to Dublin. I think Dublin's it's an incredible city. Every time my wife and I go, I say, why don't we come down here more? And I think it is, it would be great for everybody involved, certainly in the sport, if they can grow to Dublin and then beyond.
Hey, Jimmy,
Yeah.
make sure that you give Jeff Michael's number from the Harry Lemon so that when he goes down with his wife, that he's looked after. Please
for sure.
do
It's a
that.
great
Yeah.
place. I don't know if you've been
Yeah.
there. It's a really cool place. This just popped in my head here too. Another question. There was a thing going around on Instagram talking about the history of hockey this week, and there's a guy from Ireland, they claim invented hockey, that it derived from hurling. And I'll send you the video, but I'm wondering, it made me think, how many of the hurling crowds, I know how big hurling is over there, especially up in Northern Ireland, have you noticed kind of take on to hockey and like it because of the similarities?
You know, I'm not, and I actually I saw someone shared that video that you're talking about and saying that. So I have some kind of idea on it. I would hate to even try to put a number on who from hurling. What I will say is that it is a sport here where you get people from all sides of the community that are willing to try to take it up. Whereas, you know, there's still the stigma around, you know, different sports here on, you know, if you're from one side, you do this, if you're from that side, you do that. Well, hockey doesn't have those barriers whatsoever. So we've certainly found in our fan base, you get people from all different areas, all different backgrounds. And that's been the big uniting thing. And I think, you know, probably the main reason why the sport has been able to take off in the way it did and grow from something that didn't exist 25 years ago to now something that's, you know, a sellout almost every night and has such a following, such a backing from not just fans and people around, but people, people within the city and the tourist boards and everything like that. So I wouldn't be surprised with the similarities if those people have tried it. And it is what I find kind of weird is in Europe, there's a very like public skating culture where lots of people never played hockey, but they'll, oh yeah, I public skate, I go and I do the whole thing. And, which, you know, growing up in Western Mass, you played hockey, but you didn't really go public skating. So there is lots of people that have public skated before. So I think, you know, if those opportunities become available to try the sport, those abilities, those skills would certainly translate from hurling to some of the skills on the ice.
I was surprised. Oh,
go ahead, Jimmy. No, go, Jimmy.
I was surprised too, Pierre, and I think you remember too. Just when we're like, say, when we're sitting in a harp and we're talking to some of the staff, just the knowledge they had of the game. You know, I don't know why, and I didn't think this in a bad way. I just was figuring if I go over there and I say hockey, they'd be like, "Oh, well, teach us a little about it." I didn't have to do that. There was already this built-in knowledge and understanding and fandom of the game, which I thought was pretty cool.
The harp's a pretty cool place. It's a really cool place.
So have you noticed that too, just in terms of the hockey knowledge?
Yeah, I was impressed.
You know, and I think that when I first came over here, people knew the Giants and the sport. I would say the last probably 5, 6, 7 years, I think the knowledge of the game has really expanded. And I think a lot of that has to do with the other exposure, the friendship for, the men's and the women's games, hosting the world championships, the other things that they've been able to do that now, you know, have taken it from just kind of this new sport that's here, that's fun to go watch, to something that people understand and now follow. And I do think obviously the Giants have had a lot of success over the years and won a lot of trophies. And I think that always helps as well. People like to back a winner.
Exactly.
Man, you know what Jeff just said is so wise. And I'm going to tell you why, Jimmy. When George McPhee and I went over there 2 weeks ago to do this big IIHF conference, there were 100 professional organizations from all over Europe in Belfast. And at the end of it, they all said the same thing publicly. The best event ever held for that conference was in Belfast. Wow. And it's because of what Robert did, because of what Steve did, because of what the Belfast Giants did. It's to exactly what Jeff's talking about. And again, we like to tell people all the time, we don't rehearse this show. That was such a good soundbite from you, Jeff, because it's absolutely true what you're talking about. The growth of the game where you are right now, it's going to be massive long term. It's going to be massive. It's because of what the Giants are doing.
and now the women's is coming as well. So that's great.
Yeah, I
Looking
agree.
forward to it. So Jeff, will you guys? I didn't check the schedule. Are you guys be around at all while we're there?
Yeah, we'll be around. The team is away. Friday and Saturday, but throughout the week, everyone's around. So
Great. So we're gonna get to hang. It's great. Can't wait.
Jimmy's getting fined for that. Prior preparation prevents potential problems, and Jimmy didn't study the schedule, so he's getting fined.
Yeah. What do they call it in baseball when you put it in?
You're putting it in the jar.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Hey, Jeff, thanks a lot. Really, really excited for you. What a career you've carved out for yourself. You should be really proud of it. And you're an eloquent spokesperson for the Belfast Giants and the whole area. Thank you. Really mean it. Thanks.
Well, thank you guys for having me on, and safe travels over. Look forward to seeing you guys over here on this side of the water, in a few days' time.
Yep.
Sounds good, Jeff.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Associate head coach of the Belfast Giants, Jeff Mason, joined us here on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network. And man, I'm excited now to get over there.
I don't know if you know, Jimmy, his game, but I watched him play a fair bit. He was a really slick, undersized defenseman who could really move the puck well.
Which would be really great in today's game, huh?
Yeah, but over there in particular, when the big ice really mattered, a guy
Yeah.
like that was valuable.
Uh-huh.
I think of Scotty Drevich, a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Undersized defenseman, went over, played in Russia, played in a bunch of different leagues over there.
Right.
Another guy that there are a lot. Brian McColgan, who we had at St. Lawrence, who was an All-American at St. Lawrence, played in Sweden for a long time. He's a really good player. These guys were not far removed from playing in the NHL. They were really close.
You know what I like? He's a great example of, though, Pierre, and I want to get it across to hockey players maybe that are in college right now or getting out of college and might not be looking at an NHL or AHL career even. He's a great example of your career is not over. Like, just because if you go to Europe, because I feel like, Pierre, and you played over there. I feel like when I was younger, there was this stigma that if a guy was going to Europe, he was going there at the end of his career and that's it. And that would be it. But it's not that way
No,
anymore.
not anymore. It's
And
not.
it's also the chances we were talking about to build a life after hockey
Yeah.
with the education you can get.
Hey, just before I came on with you and Jeff, I was on a big conference call with an entity that wants to buy an expansion team in Europe.
Okay.
And they were trying to figure out the best way to go about it. I mean, there's a big undercurrent of money people in Europe that really want to get into the game. And by that, I mean the men's side and the women's side. They know that if they are going to do this, they're going to create a pro hockey environment, but they're going to have to do it on the men's and the women's side. And I said to them, potentially the growth of the women's game might be larger than the men's game. It might be. It really might be. I'm not kidding you. I'm following all, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm following all the transactions in the PWHL.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I interviewed Julie Chu yesterday, and 2 days ago I interviewed Haley Wynn. Haley Wynn was the second overall pick of the Boston Fleet in the PWHL. She was an All-American at Clarkson. Julie Chu played in 4 Olympics.
Yep.
She's a head coach at Concordia University up in Canada.
Yep.
And so you start to find out just how much the game has grown at their level, the women's side, and it's unbelievable. And it's going to happen. The same thing's going to happen in Europe. We're so used to having United States, Canada gold medal games in the Olympics. The only time it didn't happen was 2006.
Right.
And that's because of a young lady named Kim Martine, she did the most amazing job I've ever seen in goal. Like since Ken Dryden in 72 in games 6 and 8 in the Summit Series. I'm just telling you, that's how good this young lady was. She was phenomenal. She was at that conference George McPhee and I were at. She was there.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even know it. So I said, because we were talking about different growth patterns in pro hockey. And I said, one of the most amazing performances I've ever seen was from a young lady by the name of Kim Martine for Sweden in 2006 in Torino. And I said, Kim, would you happen to be here? Jimmy, I had no idea.
Small world, man.
So everybody, all the Swedish contingent, they're like, oh, yeah, she's here.
That's
and
great.
she stood up, and I was like, oh, man, you changed hockey on the women's side. Unbelievable.
That's awesome.
I had no idea she was there. I had no idea.
And something like the women's Friendship 4 is going to help that as well.
Oh, big time.
It's gonna be
Big
great.
time.
We're
big
proud
time.
to be part of that. And big thanks, obviously, to Sarah Stanton
Yep.
and the whole crew at the Belfast Giants. Pierre, so we're recording this on Thursday. There's a big Hockey East match on Thursday night that will have taken place by the time our viewers watch it. UMass and Providence are playing. I should have brought that up to Jeff there. But yeah, that's good. But a lot of good games this weekend. One team I'm starting to, scout the teams that will be over there at the Men's Friendship 4 next week. And Union is a team I'm interested to see if they can keep it up. RIT's been on a roll. So some of these teams that we see next week in that tournament could come in riding a hot fire.
What I think is going to be cool about it is they're all pretty equal. All Sacred Heart's pretty equal with Union, pretty equal with RIT. Miami started out the season 7-1. They had but then the schedule got really hard for them, and they've taken a bit of a step back. But Coach Noreen's done a really good job with them at Miami. I would say the games are going to be really tight. I know you like that for the other stuff that you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the games will be because I think everybody's pretty equal. It's not the biggest name teams. It's just that the games are going to be really tight. Jimmy, they've asked if I would do the first night 2 games, and I said I would on the broadcast. But Jimmy, I told them on the second night, the championship game and the bronze medal game, I told them that you're going to do it.
Okay. All right. Well, we will.
So I spoke on your behalf.
And do you need a cut? Are you my agent now, or no percentage?
I want you to go. I want you to go in there and kick the door in. I think you're going to do an amazing job. So get to work. Prior preparation prevents potential problems.
Okay, my friend. We will talk. Listen, let's get to our wonderful sponsors. We'll start off with the one and only Vago Italian. We had a great time there last week. It was a week ago today. How the time flies already. It's a week, and we will be heading to Ireland in a few days, as we said. So it is moving along here in November, but I can't wait to get back to Montreal at some point. And when I do, I will go back to Vago because they combine the old world classics and new Italian dishes for over 23 years. Private dining rooms for any occasion. Open Monday to Saturday evenings and lunch from Tuesday to Friday. They are located at 1336 Green Avenue in the Westmount section of Montreal, Pierre's former neighborhood. And for reservations, call 514-846-1414. Again, that's 514-846-1414. And then our new sponsor that we picked up this month, we're so happy to have them on board, and that is Point S, where you can go right now. And if you're living in Quebec, you got to get those winter tires on. So if you don't have them on yet right now, they got a great special. GT radial tires starting from $89 per tire. Get over there right now. If you want to take advantage of that deal, you can go to point-s.ca to shop for those GT radial tires and find your nearest Point S location. And again, you have until December 1st if you're in Quebec. So get her done now, and that is a place to go, Point S. And as we always do, as we talk about Point S, we talk about an NHL player, coach, GM, team, somebody or some team, some group that needs a tune-up right now. So let's cue that up.
The Tune-Up. Presented by Point S and GT Radio.
Pierre, you want to start?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The Buffalo Sabres need a tune-up team defense-wise after what happened the other night against Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stand and deliver physically. That's not a coaching stuff. Like, I know people were booing at the end of the game. That's not anything to do with your coaches. That's about your players digging deep and getting involved and getting a little bit dirty and wanting to compete. They need a tune-up when it comes to grit and intensity and intestinal fortitude. I was really disappointed because I really like a lot of the players in that team. But I watched the goals Calgary scored, and a lot of those guys, they're not tuned up. They need to be tuned up. And the only way they can do that is look in the mirror. They need to be better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And look, we've pounded it to death with the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs, so I'm not going to go at them again, Pierre. But one thing I'm going to go at, it's more of a general thing, because when I watch games across the league, because of the schedule this year being so condensed, we're seeing more and more injuries now. We've gotten to that point of the season, as you forewarned about a week or two ago. I'm looking at the bottom pairing of the blue line for a lot of teams, and then the bottom 6 of the forward groupings. And not enough of them, in my opinion, are stepping up right now. I want to see some of those players pick up the slack. Some teams are missing some of their star players, or just they get worn down. It needs to be everyone in, all hands on deck right now, because it's only going to get worse from here on in. I just noticed, I was looking at the schedule, Pierre, for the LA Kings. And as we said, we're recording this Thursday. So on Thursday night, they're playing at San Jose. It's the 6th game of a 6-game road trip. They have not been home since November 9th or November 8th, rather.
They played their first game in Pittsburgh.
Yes. And then when they play San Jose to close the trip, Pierre, they then wake up in their home beds, which is nice on that Friday, but they have to play right away again on Friday night against the Boston Bruins.
Correct.
So there's some hard twists and turns in this schedule. The depth needs to step up for a lot of these teams right now and get a tune-up.
Like it.
Yep. I couldn't believe I'd never seen that where a team had a 6-game road trip and then had to get home and play that first game.
We used to have to do it, but you know what made it a little easier back then? Because we didn't charter the way these guys do today. After the last game, you stay overnight in a hotel.
Oh, okay.
And you play the first game back like it's a road game.
Gotcha.
So you actually fly that next morning
to your own city.
Put them in a hotel so they don't go home.
Nice.
So it's like a road game.
That's a good idea too, Pierre, for those situations where we've seen a couple times where a team will come off, let's say, a 1 or a 2 game roadie, right? And then they'll have a home game, but then they go out again on a long road. Maybe they should do that then, have the team just get used to being on the road.
Well, it depends on the financial wherewithal of the ownership group.
I guess so. Good stuff there. All right. And of course, our wonderful sponsors, Betway, have been with us almost since the beginning of the eye test here. We're glad to have them still be on board here. Bet the beauties with Betway and join the action. If you're not a member right now, we've got a great special going. Go to that QR code right in front of you if you're watching, or go to the website. Click on the members section and fill out your details there, and you will get up to $300 in free credit back with your first deposit. That's right, $300 free credit back on your first deposit. You must be 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. One of those terms is not available in Ontario. And remember, always bet responsibly. All right, Pierre, as I mentioned, so I've got some Friday night picks. We're recording this on Thursday, but I got Friday night picks for you. And I'm going to dabble into college. I usually just do college for on campus, but I'm going to go to that Bruins-Kings game. And I'm looking at that game as a nice spot for the Boston Bruins because of that schedule. They're coming off a hard-fought loss in Anaheim. Marco Sturm playing his old team. There might be a little money on the board for him. And also, like I said, the schedule makers giving them a little break there compared to what they've been dealing with and not being so nice to the Kings. Take the Bruins first period money line. They're going to come out, in my opinion, take it to them the first period. I don't know how the rest of the game goes. Maybe the Kings find their legs. Remember, too, the Kings have been tough at home. So Bruins, not so tough.
Not
so tough at home. Yeah, they've had a tough going is what I meant to say. At home, them and the Rangers both struggle at home. So I like that first period. Then in my college picks, Maine is in Chestnut Hill to play the Boston College Eagles. They are plus 120 underdogs. I like them to get the road win on Friday night at BC. Then I look at Boston University and Northeastern. The over-under there is 6.5. Look, there's been some great goaltending for both teams. I think this is going to be a hard-fought game. I like it to go under 6.5. And then the aforementioned Union will be at Cornell on the road. I like them to pull off the upset and stay hot. They head towards the Friendship 4. They are very big underdogs at plus 180, but give me Union over Cornell. By the way, speaking of Cornell, and I'm not going to throw the medium member under the bus who said it, but because I've become such good friends with the ECAC and our friend Doug Christensen, and I'm a big fan of all the schools in the ECAC now, a certain announcer the other day on a podcast was talking about some alumni, I believe, from Cornell, and he mixed up Cornell with Colgate. And just brushed it off like it was no big deal. Well, to that announcer, and I know you watch sometimes, it is a very big deal. These are rivals. They are proud rivals. You can't just say, oh, big deal. It's a little mix up, no big deal. These are proud, traditional college hockey schools. You can't mix them up.
If you don't think it's a big deal, go to a game at Lina when Colgate plays at Lina. I had to do it for 3 years in one playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't think it's a big deal, go to one of those games.
Yeah.
At Lina. I
just hope neither of those schools heard him do that because I know they'd be pretty ticked off. But
that's unbelievable that's I'm blown away that would happen.
You know, I don't know. It was just kind of like the way the person kind of just brushed it aside, like it was not a big mix-up. college hockey's huge now, man. I mean, it's pretty obvious how the growth of college hockey.
What was the context of what was he talking
I
about?
believe it was because he had been at the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame.
For Joe Nieuwendyk?
Joe Nieuwendyk, yes.
Yeah. Well, he's Cornell.
He thought Joe Nieuwendyk went to Colgate.
There are only two. I don't know who that person is because I don't pay attention. But I'll tell you right now, that person needs to get their ears checked, and their eyes. There are only two numbers retired at Cornell. One is Ken Dryden, and the other one is Joe Nieuwendyk.
There you go.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
Like that. That's not a little mistake.
Exactly.
That's like. Is this an NHL person or a college person?
It's a very big personality in the business. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Well, you know what?
I'll tell you off the air. Okay.
They should get a week off to have to study college hockey history for 100.
Yeah. And you have to ace it.
That's unbelievable. Like, seriously.
I'm thinking, Pierre, when I'm listening to it and I pause it, did he just do that? And so I rewound it. I'm like, oh yeah, he did that. And right away I'm thinking, if Pierre McGuire ever heard that, wow.
You talked about Northeastern playing BU tonight or Friday night.
Yep.
I'll just tell you right now, both teams have really good goalies, but I will say whomever's young players play better, because both teams have a lot of young players.
Yep.
They'll win. Whomever's young players play better. Won't be about the old guys in that game. Be about the young guys for both teams. Both teams lost a ton of guys.
And credit to you, Pierre. You warned us of this coming into the college hockey season when teams are, so-called experts were raving in their rankings and where they were putting a lot of these Hockey East schools. And you were like, hey, these guys are young, man. There's a lot of young teams coming in. Look at our friend Greg Carville, how much he got slammed in his roster there.
We had him on the air, and I said, Carv, I don't know how you're going to overcome this.
Yeah, and so far, they're doing a very respectable job, but it shows. It shows that, Pierre, as a coach, when you come in like that, you've lost so much star talent, and it happens more often now, right? Because these kids are leaving so early to go pro. How do you deal? Like, how do you maintain, or you can't maintain it, I guess, but how do you restructure your identity each year?
Positive workplace environment. You don't want those kids afraid. They need to know that there's a standard of work habit you have to have. So you got to have and put that in right away with Dryland when you start. But it's like you come to work every day with a smile on your face and you encourage them to get better every day. I've seen it too often. Some of the best moments that I enjoyed coaching were at St. Lawrence at Appleton Arena, because I saw the development of Daniel LaPerriere. I saw the development of Marty Lacroix, saw the development of Eric Lacroix, saw the development in Sean Rivers, saw the development in Russ Mann, saw the development in Jamie Baker. Like, these are guys I coached almost 40 years ago. But I saw and nobody improved more than Greg Carville.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, like, that's why we drafted him in Pittsburgh. I was on the ice with the kid every day. And I was like, Scotty, let's tell Scotty and Craig Patrick when we were going to the supplement. Back then it was a supplemental draft. And I said, I'm just telling you, this kid's improved unbelievable over the course of time that I was with him. And we took him, and I'm totally convinced to this day, if the new rules had been in when Carvey was coming out of school,
right? So
the red line was out, zero tolerance and obstruction, he would have played. He would have played in the NHL.
Wow.
He would have played.
And then what about, and I know we touched on this, I forget who it was with, one of the coaches we interviewed recently, but just the fact that now you have to deal with as a coach with all the NIL transfers and now all the Canadian players coming down, it's got to be tough to find chemistry out of the gate. It's taking a while, I think, for some of these teams, no matter how much skill you may have.
It is, but it's also a really good lesson for a lot of the agents out there that miscalculated. They told their clients, let's leave major junior and go play college and dominate. Not so fast.
Not happening.
It's a wait. And you know what? I think it's good for the colleges. I think it's helping them in the eyes of a lot of the decision makers at the pro level. They're realizing, holy moly, like, I didn't realize college hockey was this hard.
Yeah, especially physically.
So college hockey's down a bit this year. Just overall, it's down a bit.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why is we don't have the COVID issue anymore. So there are no fifth-year guys. That's number one. Right. Number two, a lot of guys, if you look at all the top rosters, especially Hockey East, right, most of the teams are losing 3 to 6 players to pro hockey.
Yep.
Ryan Leonard, Jacob Fowler, Perot, Gabe Perot, they're all gone. They left BC. You know, go look at Shane LaChance. Look at all the guys from BU that left that have signed either AHL, East Coast, or NHL. Look at Northeastern. I think 6 guys from Northeastern all signed with American League teams or NHL teams. Like, it's just this year's it's down a bit.
Yeah.
But that's just should be a bigger eye opener for the agents telling all these kids from major junior, oh yeah, you should leave. You're going to go dominate. Well, most of them aren't dominating this year in what is a down year.
Yeah. Remember I told you about the I forget what outlet it was, but some junior hockey outlet or blog had this crazy tweet the other day and said, is an American ever going to win the Hobie Baker again? Look at all the Canadians just dominating. And I said, I couldn't resist. I had to reply. I said, you might want to check the stats before you come out with a hot take like that. Because if you go look at it right now, you look at top 10 in points, top 10 in goals, top 10 in assists, and top 10 in goals against. It's all Americans in the top 3, at least, if not dominating the top 10. There's maybe 1 to 2, 3 Canadians in each of those categories that are in there. And I'm not knocking Canadian hockey players. I'm just trying to put the facts out there. They are not dominating as many thought they would, as you're telling us, Pierre.
I'm on the Hobie Baker selection committee now. I'm really proud of that. I couldn't believe they asked me to do it. And you know how many games I watch?
Oh, yeah.
I'd be willing to take a bet with whomever wrote that an American will win the Hobie Baker. There'll be Canadians that win too.
Yeah.
But the American game is actually in really good shape right now. It's in really good shape.
Been in better shape. It's amazing.
The only now people are going to say Canadian people, which they have every right to. Our Olympic roster is probably better than yours.
Oh yeah.
Well, especially with the injuries. It's going to be tough for them. Like the Americans better hope Charlie McAvoy gets back. They better hope Jack Hughes gets back. They better hope Brady and Matthew Tkachuk get back. I mean, there's a lot there.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for sure. I think right now the only edge I would give the Americans in would be between the pipes, Pierre, if you're looking at the rosters.
Yeah, but even then, like, no disrespect meant to your opinion, because I kind of agree. But I haven't seen Ottinger win a Stanley Cup, and I haven't seen Connor Hellebuck get past the second round.
Yeah, good point.
So, you know, and I'm not knocking those guys because I think both of them are really good. But every year we go into the playoffs, I keep saying, Jimmy, until Connor Hellebuck wins deep into the playoffs, I can't say he knows how to win.
Yeah.
And until Jake Ottinger gets Dallas to the Stanley Cup final, I can't say, you know, he knows how to win. You know, we've had people come on this podcast and tell us how great Stuart Skinner is. And I'm like, I'm not buying that. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. And I get it. Like, people, sometimes you work for the team, sometimes you work in the area, and it's easier to be positive. I totally understand.
Yes.
But, like, you can't tell me that Stuart Skinner's a top 10 goalie in the league.
No.
Please don't. Like, and people say, oh, he's been to the final 2 years in a row. Okay, I'm not taking 2 players. I'll only take 1 player off their team. I'll take Connor McDavid off their team because nobody else in the league has Connor McDavid except for Colorado that has Nathan McKinnon. So I'll just take him off the team. Do you think that Stuart Skinner would have got them to this Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row without Connor McDavid? Not a freaking chance.
I don't think they get past the first round.
Not a chance.
Yeah. It's a mess right now. We'll see what happens there with them. But Pierre, our next on campus will be in the fine establishment named the SSE Arena in Belfast. Looking forward to that between the games on Friday. I cannot wait. And Pierre, I am going to be ready for our wonderful breakfast on Monday.
You know what the rules are.
Yes, I do. I'm not going to. We don't name the same hotel. We're in the same hotel, right?
No, we're not. You and I are in the same hotel.
Yeah, we're there. Okay, so we will figure it out. We will plan.
Not the same one as last year, though.
No, it's not. It's not. But we are gonna, and then really looking forward to the train ride up. That was one of my favorite.
One of the highlights. Jimmy, I had so much fun with you on that train ride. Yeah. Just pointing out like Malahide and in Port Marnock and all these places that I've been through, and I really enjoyed pointing them out to Jimmy. It's right on the coast. It's an amazing train ride. It's a beautiful train ride.
I'm telling you, one of these years, I was telling my daughter, Maddie, because, you know, I want to start writing some books. I'm gonna start writing your book on one of those train rides. I'll start taking notes for it if you let me, because there's so many good stories you told me.
I've already told you that it's done deal. Like, you're
All
the
right,
guy.
awesome stuff.
Just make sure you know where to put a comma and where to put a period.
That's what the editor's for.
I'm just kidding. You know I'm joking with you.
But can I say this, Pierre? No AI editing my stories. Stay far away. They have, you know what happened to me. I'm like, I am so done with that.
No AI.
We need human beings all the time. All right, listen, great episode here. Thanks to Belfast Giants associate coach Jeff Mason for joining us here. Thanks to Shane working the boards. Pierre, I will see you in Ireland, my friend.
You will, sir. Thank you.
Another edition of the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network. Next time we talk to you, we will be live in Dublin. Have a good one.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.